This is, whoops, I got to comb my hair. This is If My People Bible Reading Part 93, the Book of Psalms. And we're going to go through, oh, we're going to go through the rest of the Book of Psalms, hopefully in this one or the next section, and we'll complete it. But to give you a good ground foundation of understanding what Psalms is all about and why we do what we do. So we mentioned before, and if you're following along in line there, we did the book of Joshua, which is found in most Bibles after the book it found after the Torah is given. We went ahead and did that because I wanted to show you something. The rest from here on out to Revelation, the book of Revelation that we finish, the books will be given to you in order when were they written. Because when you're reading the book of Psalms, which should come, it should come after Deuteronomy. Because that's when it was written, that's when the people had it, and that's when everyone, including Paul, including Saul, when he got his studies into his rabbinic studies. That's the order that he read them when they were written. So in Genesis section we just finished, Psalms 1 through 41, it has everything to do with man in view. It's all about man in view. And before that was the book of Job. It's all about the presentation of man, Job, and people he has to contend with, strife continually with other, even his friends. The three friends and plus the young kid who comes in there and kind of gets in trouble at the end before the father steps in at the end of the book of Job. And then you understand, what Genesis is all about. So who is this Yahweh? Who is Job? And where did he come from? And who's this Hasatan? And does he have control of a great majority of the earth? And does he kind of do what he pleases at times if the Father allows him to test people and to go about doing whatever he did, even if he did for 500 million years on this earth? Where he probably did everything perfect, and then he decided one day, yeah, you know what? I'm taking over. I've been existing. I've been created by Yahweh. And after 500 million years, you know what? I think I'm going to have a little fun. I'm going to take an asteroid here, an asteroid there. I'm going to tear up stuff. I'm going to hit things. I'm going to cause explosions and change planets and suns and rotations to a certain degree if I'm allowed to. If, whatever it is I'm allowed to do, I want to do it. That's the attitude. If you understand that this earth was here before the sun and the moon was. Right? Right? That's what it says. Even in the 6-day theory, which I don't have a problem with that theory, I think it's right because I think only Yahweh could have made this earth as he wanted it to appear in similar fashion today in 6 days. And everything was good. Everything was tov again. And everything was very tov when man, Adam, got the breath of life in him. Now the rest of the world, the earth, including humanoids, people that were made in all the 257 different varieties of people today, Cain made sure that they got that seed within him from his mother. Who was his father? Who was his father? So we're taking a look at Book of Psalms, and now we're in the Exodus section. We're getting ready to kick into it right now. We're going to go Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. In the Book of Psalms? Yeah. Psalms 42 to 72, those chapters, it's all about ruin, redemption, redeemer, redemption. And that all points to Torah? No, it points to Yeshua. There's tons of Yeshua in the Word, the Old Covenant. There's more than you could possibly imagine. Torah is something we have to follow. We must follow. We have to today. We live in a country, the United States. We have so many laws now that we're a lawless nation. We are lawless because there's too many laws. It's craziness out there. Now we're beginning to see what Torah does when it's the good and the bad. The tree of knowledge of good and evil. The good is when things work right. And the bad is when things don't work right. But we're stuck with that until the final and the second, when this Torah, the person who wrote Torah and understands all of Torah, will correct our hearts and make our hearts pure in pure Torah. But we're not living in pure Torah right now. Yeshua told us that. And not till his return, when he established his government, his iron scepter rule. That doesn't sound good, does it? It's not. It's not utopia. It's not heaven on earth in the millennium either. It's going to be a tough time. In the book of Joshua, which follows this, we'll explain that in detail. But we did it first, just like all the other Bibles out there that you see. And you can see it doesn't really fit, does it? Because we're talking about the Pentateuch. We're talking about the 5 books here. Let's see. Where are we at now? Oh, Psalm 73 through 89 when we get there. Pay attention as you do your reading. It's about darkness. It's about dawn, light. It's about the tabernacle, the temple, the house, the assembly, the congregation, and almost every psalm. And as you read through David, and he's talking about the temple, the building, the priest, you understand you're the priest now. You're the temple. You're that perfect site that's supposed to be kept clean and cleaned out every day, and keep your fire going in it. Keep your prayers going. Keep your whoa, where are we at here? Keep your menorahs lit. Keep your fires going in your temple. Okay? Then we get to chapters Psalms 90 through 106. 90 through 106. That's Numbers. It's a repeat of Numbers again. You're getting review before the test. It's about peril and protection. And it's an earthly view. So, once again, Genesis, Psalms 1 through 41, man in view. Exodus, Psalms 42 to 72, Israel in view. The chosen people. And are you chosen? If you are here in a bear, you are grafted in. So, yeah, no problem there. Leviticus, it's the sanctuary. Who's the sanctuary? You're the temple. Where's the sanctuary? Putting your temple in the presence of the oblation area, the sanctuary, the book of Ezekiel. When we get there, you want to be in that land. You want to be in that land. You want to put Israel the land and Israel the people. Numbers, that's the earth in view. That's the earth in view for Numbers. Deuteronomy, Psalms 107 to 150, perfection, praise, the word of Yahweh. Once again, I've been to hundreds of churches. You have been to many of them. I know you have, because if you're reading this, you've left those churches. You're not watching me because you go to church every day or once a week for 50 minutes, because it's either one or the other. You're not going to like me if you like that church. And if you don't like that church and you like what I'm giving you here, it's not going to cost you anything. If you got your tithes and offerings, Yeshua says, the poor will always be here. They're always here. Some people are just poor because they can't help it, and others of people are poor because, you know what, no matter what you give them, no matter what you do for them, you can't help them. That's even brought up in the book of Psalms that we're going through. We live in a time where you give everyone on earth, and they're trying to do it right now with this reset stuff going on. Right now in the United States, it's usually the United States example. I would say, let's just get close. 98% of the people own 2% of the wealth. 2% of the United States owns 98% of everything, including your home, your car, your mortgage, everything. Now, let's just wipe that out and let's go, okay, everybody on earth gets $100. The rich people, here's $100. And you don't have any money, but this is your $100. And you're a poor person, here's your $100. Now, 100 years from now, we're going to be right back to where we are. There's going to be the poor all over the place because the poor just don't know how to manage or do anything. And I'm talking about the one when it's your fault. It's your fault because you are not responsible for what you do, and you should. You're not responsible for the health of your body. You don't care. You eat all kinds of stuff you're not supposed to because it tastes good with sugar and salt on it. Talking about non-kosher foods. and all the excuses that you have for continuing to eat it. Your excuses will never end. Take a piece of leather, put it in salt and butter and fat, and cook it up nice and soft for a couple hours and eat it. By the way, that was done for thousands of years. That's done by people starving to death. They even ate their shoes. Because why? It's just animal skin when you boil it for about 2 hours. And it tastes really good. Kind of tastes like, coconut shrimp. Or pig. Or here's the classic. Bacon. You cut a pig up and you strip it out, that's on the pork belly, and you eat it. It will taste like, But people love it because it's full of salt, full of sugar, full of candy, full of all kinds of things. And the people in maple flavored, tons of stuff, smoked, and they love it, and they say it's good stuff. If you only knew what it was doing to your body. And plus the thing that I harp on more than anything else, the fact that all the filters of the world that keeps this earth clean, one of the first commandments of Yeshua, Yahweh, is to tend the garden. And yet we eat the filters of the earth. And somehow that's okay. So to end chapter 40 here, I waited patiently for Yahweh. He turned to me and heard me cry. It's just, Psalms is a great read. This is a messianic psalm predicting the crucifixion of Yeshua. It's all about worshiping Yeshua. Now, his name is not mentioned yet. It's been mentioned 100 times. And, of course, he walked the earth for 40 solid years, keeping an eye on the Exodus. He's going to take care of his people. He's going to take care. He'll take care of anyone who calls upon his name. And calls upon his name is just not name it and claim it. Calls it what it means by, this is written by Hebrews. It's written by Hebrews. So when it means by call upon the name of Yeshua, and Yeshua was Jewish, from Judah, the tribe of Yehuda, he meant to do something. It's not faith. You can be saved by faith alone. There are people that get confused with Paul. Paul says, yeah, because if you are faith, if you hear the name, if you call upon the name of Yeshua, you will do works. You don't have to do works to be saved, but you will do them because you love Yeshua. Does that end that argument with the Jewish, the Messianics, the Hebrew roots, the Christians, going back and forth, and then they read the same Torah stuff every year, and the same arguments come up? Oh, but I learned a different thing this year when I read the same verse at the same time of year, every single year for the last 45 years. I learned something new. No, you didn't. You need to get off of the milk and get on the meat of the word. Get in the new covenant, which we're going to be getting into here when we finish the old. It's going to show you stuff that you've never seen. Although you've been a wonderful, loving, Yah-loving individual, you just don't realize that you've been wallowing in the same thing over and over again. By the way, told to do the reading by rabbinics who hate Yeshua. And I mentioned this maybe 10, 15 times to him. They hate Yeshua, that you picked up the book that says this is the weekly portions that we should read. So don't get so mad at the Christians who are sheep, and you used to be in those churches. Don't get so upset at them, because look what you're doing now. You're mocking the Lord. You're mocking Adonai. He wants you to read his new and better. He says it's newer and it's better. So why aren't you reading it every week? I don't know how many people I've talked to. I've only got like 40 seconds left, so I'll pick up on the next one. But I don't know how many good friends I know that are so caught in this, and you sit there, and then after they listen to you with their mouth open like this, and then they go right back to it when I walk out the door. I love them anyway. They're sheep, and Yeshua says, he says this, love your sheep.